Yo, got a question from Sniper and her dog Scouter about how I mount my flashlight to the front of my Vector, as well as my M4 stock adapter back here. This is actually 3D printed. This is the original plug here. If you slide the top rail off, it comes off quite easily now that I've done it a few times. Literally just press fit in there. You'll find a screw hole in the front here, just under this front iron post, and you'll take that out. Then this plug just comes right off. There are two rails on this, so I'm imagining that's like a legacy thing from the Gen 1 Vector. Mine comes out just the same way. It's just press fit in here, minus the screw. The wiring is kind of jank. I want to eventually put like a quick disconnect here somewhere so that I can separate my upper and lower without having to take this all apart. Because right now, I have to gently feed the wires in there. And then through this channel here, squish the wire. And it runs through my rail down to my grip here. The plug itself is sort of a clamshell design. It should support any Surefire M300 style scout lights, or anything with this chassis, honestly. Even if the longer ones could probably fit in here too. They would just look really weird coming out that far. Yeah, it's a clamshell, and it grips on one of the front legs here, the second leg as well, so that you can still twist it in the gun and access your battery compartment. Drop that in there. And then pressure switch. The wiring was done a little jank, I admit. Like I said, I do want a quick detach little connector here, similar to my tracer on the inside. The soldering itself, very jank, as you can see. As strain relief, we couldn't really get a second piece of heat shrink on here for the red wire, so I opted for hot glue. You can't really see it though once it's inside the gun, so I think it's fine. As long as it does its job. Something like that. Now on to the stock adapter.
Pause. When you get around to screwing in your buffer tube and you get it tight, you might have noticed that it's not straight, as in it was screwed in too far or maybe just not enough. The adapter does come with 2 set screws that when you put the buffer tube in, line it up, you can put the screws in and it'll hold it in place kind of. But I feel if you twist it hard enough, you'll snap it right out and strip some plastic where the screws were. So I highly suggest you get a crown nut. I don't have one in this video because I haven't found one and I've been too lazy, blah, blah, blah. The point is, you put the buffer tube in and then you unscrew the crown nut tight such that the opposing forces of the adapter and the crown nut keep that buffer tube in place. It's not going to move. It's going to stay nice and aligned.
And this Strike Industries M4 stock. Very nice stock in my opinion. It's just, there's no rubberizing here, so whenever I try to lean it up against something, it slides all over the place. And this stock adapter itself, however, very nice. It's just when I paired it with the Strike Industries stock, it was a little bit of wobble going on, and the farther you extended it out, the more it wobbled. To solve that, I put I'm not sure if you can see it in here, there's 3 strips of automotive tape along the inside of this tube, one on the top and one on the sides each here. So I'm making sort of a triangle worth of contact with the buffer tube, such that it's a snug fit in and doesn't really wobble that much. And if it does wobble, you don't really hear it. Well, I guess you can if you're looking to make the sound. But general use, it's much quieter than it used to be. You'll have to excuse me for not having the bolt release in, all the screws and stuff, because I don't know when to stop, and I was still trying to tune this gun. There's a DSG in here right now, but I've been destroying piston teeth because PME is really hard to deal with this guy. This thing spins so fast. Get 30 RPS out of the box. And I don't know what default spring it is, but I put an M150 in there, and even that wasn't saving me. I have some parts coming in to fix all that. Externally, other than the 3D printed plug and the M4 stock adapter back here, I have I don't remember what trigger this is, I'll leave in the comment. It's a speed trigger. You can tune it with a little set screw in here. so that it rests right before you trip the micro switch. So I just need to touch it and it goes pew. Yeah. And then on this side of the gun, I have a mag release from Ace 1 Arms. These things were out of stock everywhere I went to. I think the real steel guys with owning vectors also want these, because it's just so nice to be able to press the button on the right hand side, just like an AR platform, and the magazine comes out, instead of our awkward vector thumb pull. You know, it's so much nicer to have your other mag ready, such that you can just go, good to go. And sniper, I did want those 9mm mag pull mag assists here, but everywhere I went, they didn't have them. They have the M4 type assists, and I could not find any from my local stores. I think I'm just gonna have to buy it from Magpul themselves. At first, I cut a little hole in here to support the original screw that goes inside the top rail here, but I didn't like that because it's not actually threaded. So I just stuck it all together with a piece of electrical tape, and with that, it also lets me friction press fit it inside the gun. Anyway, Sniper, thanks for the comment and questions. If you are concerned about anything else about the gun, I will be happy to oblige. Thanks for watching. And if you were curious, while it doesn't shoot because there's no tappet plate in it, this is what a 30 RPS SSG, but there's a DSG in here, so it'll be theoretically 60 RPS DSG sounds like in a vector. It's double tapping on semi right now. Auto. Rest in peace, piston.